What's poppin', Monkeepod folks? This week we have a quick, snappy episode, we'll call it. It's a little bit on the shorter side. It's like a tight 5 of comedy. As always, the Monkees may be a children's show from the 60s, but the Monkeepod is more like rated kind of like R. I guess it has to be rated R because we say we get more than one F-bomb per episode. We are allowed that much. Enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome back to the Monkeepod, a Monkees recap podcast. My name is Sommer.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Lukas.
Today we have season 1, episode 15, Too Many Girls, alternate title, Davy and Fern. And the historical background that I've chosen for the premise this week is the Monkey girls. A lot of times now people will talk about Beetle girls, which means Beetle wives and important girlfriends. I've expanded the definition of monkey girls to include not only wives and girlfriends, but like women that they worked with artistically, because you can accomplish more things than being married to a man. Yes. So let's do this. Important Monkees fan site Psycho Jello wrote up a little paragraph about kind of each of the Monkees' like main romantic interests throughout their life. They say, in 66 to 68, Davy Jones was rumored to date or dated a wide variety of successful ladies. Lulu, no last name, he really dated her. Sally Field, just friends. Deanna Martin, not sure. Lynn Randell, merely hit it and quit it. Don't know how we know that. Twin Vegas showgirls, he ditched Lynn Randell for them. Okay. Jerry Lynn, a dancer on Where the Action Is, and Linda Haynes. He obviously knocked her up and married her. Me, when I realized I didn't know who Davy's wife was. It was Linda Haynes, apparently. Okay. Mike was married to Phyllis, and as we all know, also had an affair with photographer Nereet Wild during this period. Yeah, he did. Nereet was like Peter's photographer friend who hooked up with Peter first, and she was like around on set. We'll get into that once we're in like season 2 when the stuff was like actually happening. We'll get into Mike's affair. Micky dated everything that moved for a while, but he was fairly serious with Roxanne Albee, who was an extra on many season 1 Monkees episodes. She plays the Vanna White in this episode. Okay. Briefly dated a girl named Randy Kredick, and of course fell in love with Samantha Just at first sight in 1967. Samantha Just is so beautiful. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her last name right because I've never heard it said out loud. It's Juste. I'm guessing that's Just. Although he eventually strayed, his relationship with Samantha was pretty solid as far as I could tell, especially for the 1960s. Do I have a picture of Samantha anywhere here? Yeah, that's her. Okay. And Micky cheated on her. Cute. God, what was wrong with him? What is wrong with any of them? So then Psycho Jello says, Peter was obviously very single throughout these years, but he went out with Leah Cohen, who is Mama Cass's sister from the Mamas and Papas, for a while during season 1. Had a thing with Karen Harvey, aka Lady's Baby, for a bit, and had a rumored dalliance with Janis Joplin. He discredits this, but you never know. I don't think that happened. A brief relationship with songwriter Diane Hildebrand, who wrote Goin' Down, which is Monkey song. Okay. Hung out with Sally Field a lot. Did anything happen with them? Hinted at a thing with Val Carys, who is another one of the extra girls who's on all the time. Countless orgies with random babes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, we've been over this. Peter was an orgy organizer.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes.
Yes. And then he settled down, ? With Rain Stewart, and had a child with her. And then this is a teen magazine article about different girls who are kind of in the Monkees orbit. So here we have Coco, of course. Right. Coco is Micky's sister who used to, and still performs like with him.
We saw her.
This is Phyllis, Mike's wife. And we got Mama Cass there. We got Ann Moses of Tiger Beat, who was like one of the main reporters for Tiger Beat, which was like the teen magazine that covered the Monkees very, very often. So she was like, she hung out with them a lot in order to write articles about them. Mama Cass, like it was saying, one of them dated her sister. I forget who just said did that. And Jeannie the tailor makes groovy clothes for Peter, it says. I believe she also wrote some columns for the teen magazines. Okay. We have Cher has been a friend of Micky's for years. Okay. And Lynn Randell there as well. So the caption on this says, everyone's always starting stories about how the Monkees love this girl or that girl, and usually these rumors are totally false. There are a few girls that the Monkees really dig. These aren't necessarily girls that the Monkees date, but they do have a special place in the hearts of each Monkee. So that's nice. They were surrounded by a lot of different peers. Another topic that I almost picked for the historical background of this episode was like girl groups of the 1960s, because I wanted to talk about my beloved Shangri-Las. One day we will. But I'm going to use that as a pivot to ask you about something that's actually quite related to the Monkees that you know more about than us, which is the K-pop industry and manufactured bands and stuff. So what is your experience with K-pop?
My experience with K-pop is that I have been a stan of specifically girl groups since 2016, and it's kind of like, you know, gone down, but I have a lot of knowledge retained on how K-pop groups are formed.
The basic formation of a K-pop group, how would it happen in this day and age?
So basically a bunch of girls, it's like a bunch of like theater girls, or like they pick out models and stuff from agencies, go
like 14-year-olds in Korea.
Yeah, at this point, sometimes even like 6-year-olds. Like,
damn.
Like they get in like really early, and then if they pick you to be part of the company, they train you for years to be good at singing and dancing, and then you're not even guaranteed to get into the group at that point. After you've trained for a while, they select a bunch of girls from their company, select the prettiest ones, and then put those into the group. Which is like a really hard, that's basically what it is. That's like sounds super, super harsh, but that's basically what they do. And then depending on your company, you might not even get paid. You could get put into debt. They charge you for all the years of training that they do for you. And then you have to make money by performing. And then usually it's like not enough for you to like remake the cost.
Oh.
So even after your group gets disbanded for like being like a flop or whatever, then you still might owe money to the company, like in a legally binding way, because you signed a contract with the company.
When you were 6.
Your parents signed a contract for you when you were 6, because it is like it could be like a dance mom situation.
Yeah.
It could be like, no, mom, I want to be a singer. I don't want to go to like business school or whatever.
And then they're like, this is what you picked. You're gonna do it as hard as possible.
Yeah. And like keep in mind that like a small percentage of groups that actually do come out are in any way successful or profitable. So
it's interesting that the manufactured pop industry has gotten more controlling and exploitative over time, but now instead of being like, they're posers, they're so fake, they can't even play their own instruments, like people are like following the company's selection process and being like, yes, this is part of it for us.
I think it's like, because it's rare that a group gets formed naturally nowadays, and even if they do, they don't really get popular without like a lot of promotion. It's like the result of like late stage capitalism controlling the way we consume entertainment.
Mm-hmm. And it's low-key the Monkees' fault that all these all these poor trainees, they should curse Davy's name for doing this to them. Too many girls left behind by the K-pop industry. Let's get into the episode. Okay. The director of this one, once again, Fraw Dog, James Frawley. This one's written by Dave Evans and Geraldine D. Oh, you know what? By the end of this, probably all the writers are going to be on my shit list, but Dave hasn't done anything wrong yet. So this one was broadcast on December 19th, 1966. So we start. The Monkees are in the pad, rehearsing Steppin' Stone with Peter on lead vocal. Sing for me, Pete. They never let him sing. But Davy is not practicing. He is locked in, staring straight ahead, holding his maracas perfectly still. And the Monkees are, oh, wake up. Davy, not again. Okay, there's got to be a girl somewhere. Where's the girl? And they look around, and there is indeed a random girl inside of their spiral staircase staring
at Davy.
They're like, oh my God, can you leave so we can get to rehearsing? And they and when they're like trying to get her to leave, they're like have this overlapping chatter, and they like looped it twice because it didn't go long enough. So the second the girl's out the door, Davy turns back on and he starts singing, and he's like, what did it happen again? Like he fully blacked out. He left his body when a woman was present, and he goes, fellas, I promise I'll never look at another girl again, because being in the Monkees is more important to me than anything. And also, like, women aren't people yet, so you can just avoid them forever.
Right. But you can't even avoid them for 30 seconds.
Yeah, like,
Because there's another woman.
But there, yeah, it's
All of a sudden, there's 10 girls hidden all throughout the house.
It was like an Easter egg hunt.
it's not really his fault. Like the girls,
The girls snuck in.
they're naturally spawning and teleporting inside of the house,
Yeah.
like video game mobs, because Davy's presence spawns women, and it's not his fault. So
Because Davy is like so cute and he looks 14.
yeah, yeah. So then Davy tries to vow for no more girls, but another girl does appear. And as this girl is leaving, Micky goes to her, Liz, we'll see you later, honest. He knew her name. He wanted to see her later. There's girls in their fridge. There's girls on their chairs. There's like 6 girls brushing Davy's hair. Mike says he's trapped by his own staggering good looks. And then Micky says, I myself am deeply jealous.
Yes.
What was your commentary on 1960s attractiveness?
I said, I don't know if they're 60s hot or they're like just hot in the text. Because none of these men are attractive to me.
You have been poisoned by modern gay male beauty standards.
I have, yeah.
Because I admit that the Monkees are dressed weird and their hair is weird and they look stupid, but I think they're all really cute. And Mike specifically, Mike Grant. I don't know. There's something about like the beetle monkey archetype of like the balance between like edgy and non-threatening,
Mhm.
the balance between child and adult, the like.
But also, I feel like that changed a lot because if we do draw a comparison to Big Time Rush,
Yeah.
the boys look completely different or styled completely different than the way that they are to the Monkees, and that's basically aimed at the same demographic.
Well, I mean,
So-
it was like a completely different time period.
Yeah.
Are you saying that like
I
since the
guess-
Monkees were like
What I'm saying is like the way boys were considered hot in the 60s is not for me.
okay,
Yeah.
you're not about that. You're not about the like the free love, the hippie gender bending, the long hair.
No, cut your hair, eat some more protein.
Go to the army. Go serve in Nam.
No,
you
not
you
that.
pussy boys.
I'm like, do a sport in high school, something. Like,
Lucas, if you did high school football in the '60s, you were going to Nam. if you can carry a pigskin, you can carry a grenade for the children. So then the Monkees pull up to ye old tea room, or what I will be calling the Romani tea room for reasons that we will be explained next time, where Fern and her old mother, who I thought was her grandma, are scheming on Davy.
Again, probably in her 50s.
Yeah. Fern is another monkey girl, not exactly with personality, but she is not blonde. She has short red hair, and she kind of who does she remind me of? I wrote it somewhere in this.
Okay.
She reminds me of Columbia from Rocky Horror a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's got the similar color hair.
Here she is.
Here.
This is Fern today.
That's never going to stand up again.
oh my
And
gosh.
I made her fall over.
Just let her lay down.
All right.
I did want to mention that Fern's mom, and technically not a monkey girl because she's not a love interest, but
Yeah.
also a woman with a goal that isn't boys.
Yeah. No, all the old women have been allowed to have personality. There's a lot of old broads on the show. Big Mama, Mama Morton. I call like every old woman on the show Mama.
Well, I have Mama.
Fern's mom, the scheme that
But
she's
also Fern. 'Cause
But also Fern, she's in on it
Fern's-
too.
Yeah, Fern's
Well, no,
goal,
I think Fern's goal was just to do whatever her mother
Yeah,
said.
she's
I don't
not-
think it was Fern. Fern was into it. She was
well,
just...
like she
Oh,
yeah,
she-
she
oh, well,
was
she
going
does.
along with what her stage mom wanted,
Yes.
and what she wanted was her daughter to be famous, but specifically as like a singing duo with Davy Jones. Okay, so she's noticed that Davy is one, talented and popular, two, easily hypnotized by the presence of women. So she thinks it will be like easy to get him to perform with Fern and take her to the top. However, in universe, Davy is a high school dropout in a flop band. Yeah, he's a popular, cute boy
Right.
among his social group, but he has no like entertainment industry
Yeah.
leverage.
In the text, they just live in a big house.
This is finally where Stepping Stone comes into play. Because she's trying to use him as her stepping
Oh,
stone.
yes, that actually does relate.
Finally.
Right?
Do they
should-
use it? No.
They've used it. They're like rehearsing it at the top of the
Okay.
episode. It
And
never
that-
is used in
it-
relation to Fern when it would be about her.
When it would be appropriate.
Yeah. So they plan to trap Davy in the tea room because he's English. He likes tea.
Right.
Fern's mom calls up Mr. Hack, who has a TV show that she wants Davy and Fern on.
The amateur hour.
Yeah. Was it okay? You what is the deal with like?
Well, it's like a variety show. I don't know. I never saw them. They were kind of.
I did research on
Gone.
Yeah. Oh,
What's
yes.
that?
Let's get into your research.
All right, so amateur hour was originally from like the 1920s to like 1935. It was like a national radio show where people would come on and sing, and there would be a cash prize.
Oh, there was one show called Amateur Hour.
Because there were only like 10 shows total,
Right,
but
yeah.
like there was like it originated in like vaudeville in the 1880s, where they would have like local vaudeville shows with paid tickets where like amateur performers can come on and compete for a cash prize. And then when TV started, they made an amateur hour for television, which lasted until like the 60s, and then the time slot was taken over by Sunday Night Football. And then by the time it got taken over by Sunday Night Football, which is like a few years like after the show was doing it, it was like already like a flop show. Like only old people watched it. Like it wasn't like really big.
Mm-hmm.
But the same concept still persists to this day with stuff like The Voice, American Idol, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Televised live talent competition. Thank you for
very
the info.
well summarized.
Yes.
And I was just going to go back to Beaches because she's in,
Yeah.
she's in amateur hour. So it is, so it's
a type of thing. It's rather presumptuous of her to call Mr. Hackup at this point because Davy has not been obtained yet.
Right.
But she's listing him on that show. So then she holds up for Fern a jar of weed and a pencil-sized metal straw and says, "Pepper and a nail. Ah ha 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 ha. Sure, I'll believe you. That's what those are." And then she...
That's all they had on set?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, shit, we lost the pepper. Peter!"
that was a big jar of pepper.
Yeah. And she hands them to Fern and says, "Now go do what I told you." The storytelling is gripping and naturalistic. So the mama sits down at the Monkees table to read their tea leaves. And they all stand up when she comes over to, like, because they're little gentlemen. And boys don't treat me like that anymore. And I want the Monkees to do a little comedy routine when I come around.
Yes.
So then Micky says he's going to bring his tea leaves home so he has something to read in bed. Micky, you would have loved going on that damn phone. So then Mama reads their tea leaves and she's like, "Mike, in 24 hours you will get a flat tire. And Peter, in 24 hours you will get sick." Cut to Fern putting pepper on their coats. I think I see where this is going.
Yeah.
And then she says, "Davy, I see within 24 hours you will meet a girl and fall in love." And Mike's like, "Well, he does that every day." And then she says, "But this love is so great he will leave his home and friends." And then Davy says, "That's impossible. I would never do that."
Again.
I could never leave the monkeycule for a woman. It's impossible. Because at the end of the day, he does have all these girlfriends. Right. But he does love his friends more.
He always does come
He
back.
loves his friends more. He really loves he really loves his friends. Micky is so freaked out by these predictions that he dumps his tea leaves into Davy's cup and says, "I'm switching to buttermilk to drink."
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not a thing? That's just something that he said?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I only know buttermilk as a pancake ingredient from IHOP.
I think people drank butter. I don't know.
Is it
I never drank
Is it milk with butter in it? What is
no,
buttermilk?
it's like one of the layers of milk. I don't know. Milk fat. I don't know.
Anyway, I don't think you should be
Bad for
drinking
you.
it raw instead of tea, Micky.
Probably bad for
One of them says, I don't have it written down. I feel like it was Mike. One of them says, "We're not superstitious, and we're four pretty intelligent guys who have been lucky." Right. Uh-huh.
Well, they do that and then he knock on wood.
Yeah.
Because that's a superstition.
Oh.
That's what the joke
okay.
is.
So the joke is that they are both superstitious and stupid.
Yeah.
And then their table breaks from knocking on wood.
Right.
So then they go outside to the Monkey Mobile, which has a flat from the Hydro Flask straw that Fern stabbed into it. And Peter gets a respiratory illness from seasoning inside of his suit jacket. Okay, I know it's a thing in cartoons. I have never seen somebody sneeze from pepper in real life.
I have actually, yeah. I've sneezed from pepper. If you get pepper like up your nose,
Okay.
you'll sneeze from it.
Okay. But it was inside of his suit jacket.
Well, yeah, when he put it on, it flew up his nose.
and he
As
didn't
we're about to
see
see,
it.
this is a cartoon universe.
Yes.
This
Well,
is
yes,
that
because-
is true.
Because he does Then Mike does blow up the tire
Yes.
With his
my
mouth.
mouth.
In 30 seconds.
like 3 blows, he
Yeah,
blows up
Into
a car
a
tire.
little rubber tube.
Yeah. And while he's doing it, the rest of them pick up Davy like a doll, dump him into the backseat, and put a blanket
And
over
cover
him
with a blanket.
so he can't accidentally see any women and fall in love with them and leave the group.
That reminds me of those TikToks where it's like someone in the Starbucks drive-thru like, can I get a Pup Cup? And it's like someone under a blanket in the backseat barking.
They would be like, oh, that's just our dog back there. And then the dog's like, oh, let me out, fellas. Yeah, he's British. I don't know. So they say, for the next 24 hours, we are going to insulate you from women. How do you plan on doing that? Because he summons them to spawn inside of your house.
They just
He has a passive ability to spawn women.
The women spawning is a Shadow Realm feature that glitches in and out, much like their ability to get costumes, I guess. I in this moment imagined a beautiful dream version of this episode where they actually succeeded in doing that, and then Davy just fell in love with Peter instead. I can believe in my dreams. So then Peter is like, all women, that's half the world. And to demonstrate this, he plays with a broken globe so that you know what half the world looks like. Because you wouldn't know if he didn't do that.
just kept going with it, and I didn't understand why.
Yeah. But maybe he improv that line and he was proud of it.
We have one joke.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
Fill the time. Someone knocks at the door. So in order to hide Davy from a potential woman, they turn him into a chair by putting a tablecloth and a pillow on him and sitting on him. And he's like protesting. And then when Micky sits down, he like accepts it and just puts his arms out.
I don't think he's under there at that point.
Yeah, he was.
Do you think he was still sitting under
I
there?
didn't see like a cut. I think.
Yeah, I think he was
sat
down
on
there.
him.
I think he was down there. So then Peter checks the door hatch and he's like, oh, it's okay. It's only a Girl Scout. And Micky says, gosh, Rooney, it's only a Girl Scout. Gosh, Rooney. Is the joke there that she would be too young? Because Girl Scouts goes up to 18.
No, she's too old.
No, I mean, like, if it's only a Girl Scout, like, the Girl Scout's too young to be a woman that David would like. Is that the joke?
I don't know. I don't know why they would think, yeah.
Or is the joke just that they're dumb and they're like, oh, Girl Scouts, that's not a woman. It has girl in the name.
I think that was it, yeah.
So, okay. I think it might be because that they're supposed to be young. Because she goes, I'm just a little Girl Scout. Yeah. But also when she opens the door, she like, she like goes like this, and there's like a sexy music sting.
Yeah, and she's got like a tight shirt on.
It's weird. It's weird. Yes. It's weird. But she goes, I'm just a little Girl Scout. And then Mike goes, Girl Scout, get her out of here. Like he realized Girl Scouts were girls. And as they're pushing her out, Mike puts his hand directly over her face. And so they shove Fern out the door, and also Peter with her, and then they go, wait, no, not you, Peter, and they bring him back.
That was funny.
And then Micky says, Girl Scout my sensor noise, but he doesn't move his mouth over the sensor noise.
Oh, that probably would.
Yes. And then it cuts to them still in the pad, all wearing different clothes.
Yes, we're wearing different clothes.
Is it a different day? Did they pass the 24-hour mark?
No, it's supposed to, I thought it was supposed to be like 5 minutes later. I'm like,
they just
why
change
are they
clothes
wearing
throughout the day?
clothes?
They change between one normal indoor daily outfit to a different normal indoor daily outfit.
I don't know.
That made no sense. Anyway, Davy has the like yellow Star Trek type inspired shirt back on.
I would love to
No,
have
it's very nice. He's
them.
and he goes on this little amazing rant where he's like, I'm going crazy. You can't lock me up like this. Why are they doing it to me? You can't lock me up like an animal. I know why he's doing it. It's because I'm short. That's why. Davy's Napoleon complex goes crazy. Okay, so in the intro of Daydream Believer, before the song starts, you hear some like dialogue of Davy in the recording booth where he's like, what number is this, Jim? 7A. Okay, don't get too excited, man. It's because I'm short, I know. He's constantly talking about it. Another knock comes at the door. Mike checks the hatch, and he's like, oh, it's a girl. Put Davy upstairs. So Peter runs Davy up the spiral staircase, cupping his ass by both cheeks the whole time. Thank you, Peter. Very cool. So Fern comes in pretending to be a photographer who will give them a free picture. That's another thing that's always happening in the Monkee Show is some sort of type of door-to-door salesman enters their house to give them something.
Yeah.
Micky's like, yeah, that sounds cool. Come on in. So she puts them in like the clothes that you would get at the old time photo.
Right. Well, she had an
boardwalk.
old time photo. She had an old time camera too.
Yeah.
like
But the
it.
second the flash goes off, they change back to their normal clothes. So I think they provided their own Shadow Realm
Yeah.
costumes for that.
But there was a space for
Yeah, they're
For
like
Davy.
They're
They're
holding the
holding a
hat for
hat.
Davy, and then Fern's like, "Wait, isn't there another one of you?" And Micky's like, "Yeah, he's upstairs." Why would you tell her that? They're so stupid.
So she goes running upstairs.
Yeah, and they have to when the flash goes off.
Which is so the gunshot noise.
Yeah. She stunned them with her stun gun and tried to go upstairs, and they have to pull her off the staircase and throw her back out. A lot of throwing this small girl around in this episode. So Davy is mad at their attempts to imprison him. He's like, "This is a free country. I'm leaving." He couldn't even do it for 24 hours. He couldn't avoid women for 24 hours. Although he didn't even seem mad about the girls aspect. He seemed more mad about the being locked up aspect.
Yes.
Davy would not have done well during COVID. I'll tell you that. He's like, "If you want to keep me from leaving, you'll have to tie me up and chain me down." David, you know they have no problem with doing that. Y'all get tied up in every goddamn episode of the show. So it's gonna happen. Maybe he was baiting them to do it because he wanted them to. So they chained Davy to a big chair in front of the TV, like an iPad baby. Did you want to talk about the TV show that they were watching?
Yes, I did. So they said, watch this TV show about building a railroad. And they showed like a 10-second clip of it or so. And there was a very clear shot of two men. And so I tried to Google search that one because I have written down, okay, is it Rawhide? Is it Bonanza? Is it Gunsmoke? Like, is it any one of these things? And then I Googled, and I couldn't, there was one blonde guy. So I was looking for this specific guy and I was like, he's not in any of these other shows. And then I finally figured out, I said about a railroad, building a railroad. And it was called Iron Horse, ran from 1966 to 1968. It was about somebody won a railroad that had to be finished. And so it's about building the railroad. And it is from Screen Gems, which is the same company that puts out this.
I found that same information on IMDb, and I also found out that Screen Gems aired this directly opposite the Monkees in the same time slot on ABC.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That is fun.
So that's why Davy was forced to watch it. So then Fern slides a letter under the door, and Davy drags his chair over to the door after him. It's clearly extremely light. The chain is not holding him whatsoever. It doesn't even slow him down. He like reads the letter, drops it on the floor, and then like leaves the pad. They didn't lock the door. They just sat him with the chair, he could drag chained to his leg in front of the TV and thought that would keep him there. The Monkees are like, "How did Davy possibly escape? He was chained to a chair."
That was I wrote that on. That was my favorite line in the episode.
They just can't figure it out. So Mike picks up the letter that's on the floor and he says, "Special delivery," directly to the camera and makes a weird face. The letter says that Davy was chosen to judge a beauty pageant. And they're all like, "Yeah, that would do it. That would get him out of the house." To look at a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
That's all he needs. Well, Davy, you can just look in the mirror if you want to see a beautiful girl. So Davy drags his chair down the street into a very suspicious situation. And the Monkees chase after him, looking for him. At one point, they stop a different guy dressed the same as him who's also dragging a chair. I thought that was really
That
good.
was really funny.
Yeah.
And then at one point, somebody's sitting in the chair that Davy's dragging.
Yeah.
Like someone sits down, is getting his
like-
shoes.
Yeah.
No, I think he was getting his
Getting a
shoes
shoe
shined.
Yeah.
And then the boys stop. There's three people. I assume they were waiting for a bus, though it wasn't a bus stop. There were just three people standing on the street next to each other. And they ask like for directions. And two send two of them one direction. And I'm trying to, I think Peter was sent in the wrong direction.
Aww. So this is the very extremely normal, non-suspicious situation that Davy pulls his chair up to. He goes back to the same
tea room.
the same place, which is clearly just the same tea room. The chairs are all stacked up. It's dark in there. There's a single table that says there's a little placard that says "Judge" on it. Davy sits down in this dark room. A spotlight comes up. And then Fern comes out with long beautiful hair and an animal print bikini and belly button jewelry. Isn't she supposed to be like a teenager?
I was confused. I was like, oh, is that her with the long hair?
Yeah, that was her.
Uh-huh.
So here's another fun fact from IMDb. The cleavage revealing outfit Fern wore in the scene where she and Davy Jones meet was actually considered too risque for the time, and the scene was censored visually and somewhat crudely, with Vaseline smeared over Fern's image in a few shots. An uncensored version appeared in syndication during the 1970s, but wasn't part of the 1980s remastering. The uncensored footage finally reappeared in remastered form during IFC's 2015 Monkees Marathon. And I'm guessing that's the version that we watched, because I didn't notice any censorship.
I didn't notice any censorship.
To be fair, looking at it, I was kind of like, whoa, they had her in that on TV.
Right.
It was a little bikini. And she's in it for like 5 minutes. So every time Davy goes to touch her mom like plays like a theremin in the next room, and it goes like, wah.
Was it a theremin, or was she like putting a needle on a record?
She was putting on a needle on a record, but it was making a theremin noise. They wanted a theremin, but they didn't have one in the props, is what I'm gonna guess happened. And the first thing he says to her is, "My name is Davy Jones, and I think I love you." And then the Monkees come in, and Peter says, "I myself am deeply jealous." Of Fern? Oh, I bet, Peter. Oh, I bet. So then Fern's mom comes over, and Davy's like, "Fern, I'd like you to meet the woman who predicted all of this." Okay, yeah, I get it. He doesn't know that it's her mom. When did he get her name? They just met. He just said, "My name is Davy Jones, and I think I love you." She never spoke a word yet.
Oh, I don't know.
And then Mama reads Fern's tea leaves and is like, "Oh, I see that you will be on TV with this young man." And Davy's like, "Oh yeah, Fern, you told me, the amateur hour." "No, you didn't.
When was this
What are you
conversation?
talking about, Davy? You just met her 5 seconds ago. We have seen your entire interaction so far. You did not." She did not. But anyway, Davy's like, "I can't sing with Fern. I'm a monkey." And she's like, "Well, can you just do it for me just this Sunday?" Like, and the other Monkees are like, "Oh, he's quitting us." He doesn't have to quit the group to perform with Fern this Sunday, or even like occasionally going forward if that's what he wants to do. Like, do they have some type of like ironclad contract, or are they like scared of like a Yoko situation? Because that hasn't happened in real life yet, so I don't think they would know. Yeah, whatever like scrap of paper that Mike made him sign back when he joined the band in the TV universe is extremely legally binding, so he can only be in one band at once. So to prevent Davy's love, all of the Monkees sit on his chair so he can no longer move it. But he is able to break the chain with his bare hands, because a man in love has the strength of thousands.
Yes.
Yes. So the rest of the Monkees are sitting there depressed because their most beautiful member has left. And the phone rings, and Micky goes, "Phone's ringing." And then somebody slides the table with the phone on it in front of them, and they all pick it up. "It's not for your asses, and you're in the tea room." And it's Mr. Hack. He's like, "Can I talk to Mama?" And Micky's like, "Mama's not here." And he's like, "Can I leave a message?" "Just leave a message with whatever random person picks up the phone." Okay. Anyway, Mr. Hack says Davy and Fern are scheduled for last on Sunday night's show, when Davy was secured for this 3 seconds ago, but Mama was planning that before, so okay. So
the guys figure out that what's going on, because it says her daughter,
Yeah.
Davy and her daughter.
yeah, from this phone call, they realized that the fortune telling was fake, and that in fact, Mama is the mother of the Fern. So they run to the TV studio to catch Davy in time to tell him that his love is a lie. But they're not going to just tell him; they're just going to like fuck with him, monkey style.
Well, here's the thing. They get the call saying they're going on last. So presumably there are other people signed up to be in this show.
So. But everyone in the show is
Are
the
now the
Monkees
Monkees.
in disguises of different Shadow Realm
So
costumes.
now we have the 3 Monkees go be on the show.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another confusing thing about this. The Monkees want... their plan is to make Fern and Davy flop at the talent show so they lose and Fern doesn't succeed in show business and doesn't take Davy away from them. So then they all do talent acts that are bad on purpose. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
I feel like they were like lampooning like the whole idea of like a talent show in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
so they were just parodying talent acts
Yeah.
unrelated? All right. Well, first is Peter, the great Pietro. So Peter does some shitty magic.
Manhandles a dove.
Yeah, he which includes and then he squishes the dove in a bag and it emits a human scream. And then he does a trick where he pours, quote, "generous wholesome milk" into a hat, and then he dumps the hat of milk on his head. and cries. His really realistic fake crying. There's a Vanna White type girl wearing a purple Sabrina Carpenter concert suit. Amazing. And as we said, she was played by Micky's girlfriend. So then the next act, Mike comes out as a folk singer in a tan suit, and he very quickly and nervously sings Different Drum, which we established was a song that he wrote, but was never recorded by the Monkees. I don't know. Again, it seems like they're trying to make fun of him and his songwriting a little.
And he was Billy Red Hodstetter.
Yeah, they just wanted a
Does that mean
yeehaw-sounding
anything?
country
No? Okay.
music name, I'm
Didn't
guessing.
mean anything.
Yeah. So then Micky is an impression comedian who at first does no impressions and only does jokes. He's like, Mr. Hack is so fat when he sits around the house, he sits around the house. He yo mama to Mr. Hack. That's crazy. So while he is doing his little comedy routine, Mike and Peter, in order to sabotage Davy, put rocks in his pockets and replace his cane with a flaccid rubber cane that they have. Okay.
From the Shadow Realm.
From the Shadow Realm. So then Micky starts doing his impressions. Of course, he does James Cagney. And then Edward Gene Robinson and Harvey Needleman, who are also just James Cagney again. He can only do James Cagney. So while they're doing the sabotage, Mike sprays Davy in the mouth with what I thought was a perfume bottle.
Yeah.
But whatever was supposed to be in there gives Davy voice cracks. Is it alcohol? What's that supposed to be?
Well, that's like throat spray.
Okay.
It's, people, it's kind of old timey. Like when you're singing, you like, I guess it's like moistening your.
Well, I mean, they have like.
You've seen that before, right?
Yeah, they have like throat numbing spray still.
Yeah.
But it's like.
Yeah. So, but it looks like a perfume bottle. So I'm assuming they actually squirted perfume in his mouth.
Yeah. Maybe they do because they then go behind the chairs and like shake hands with each other and like cover their nose.
No, they hit each other in the nose. That was like a bit. They're shaking hands, but they're shaking hands like this.
Oh, and then
so
they're
like hitting each other.
Oh, I see. Now I understand.
So did they dubbed his voice with like some of the higher pitched voice, right?
No, that's just Davy.
Okay.
That's just Davy. Davy and Fern suck at the talent show, but it's like kind of less because of the Monkees sabotage and more because like they're unrehearsed and like Davy is doing bad on purpose, but like not in universe. In universe, he's just doing bad, but in real life, he's doing bad on purpose, and all it seems like is that he's doing bad on purpose. Davy is not good at being a poor showman.
Yeah.
Well, Fern is back and she's got short hair now. So how did she explain this to Davy? Like that she just was wearing a wig?
Yeah, hair pieces were super common at the time. You see it in a ton of episodes that like half the girls in the show, their bangs don't match the rest of their hair because they have a whole like half wig clipped on the back of their head. Although I will say the long hair in that one scene made it kind of confusing and hard to recognize her.
Yeah.
So I don't really know why they did that except to make her so sexy, so sexy. Davy and Fern suck and lose the talent show, and Fern cries to her mother. And when he realizes that this is in fact her mother, he realizes that he has been played. But then Mr. Hack says something very confusing. He says, "We will return with one more act after a word from our sponsor."
Yeah. Okay, before we get to that,
okay,
I did with the punch in the nose. So they repeat the joke after the sabotage works. Mike and Micky then shake hands and punch each other in the nose.
Okay, I didn't pick up on that when I was watching.
Okay, sorry.
So Mr. Hack
is coming back with one more act.
Yeah, he's coming back with one more act, and then I said, "Girl, what act?" Okay, I know it's the Monkees because that's the show we're watching. But this guy has a real fly by the seat of his pants attitude towards talent booking. Well, he is a hack.
He is a hack.
He is a hack, but first of all, he said that Davy and Fern would be last. And he didn't know that the Monkees were supposed to be here. So I don't know what's happening. But the Monkees, when he says that, they're like, our sponsor. They like pointed ourselves and like mouthed our sponsor, which was Kellogg's. Okay. The Monkees, one of these days we're going to watch all the Monkees Kellogg's commercials. There's a couple of episodes that like have the bumper like attached, the Kellogg's bumper attached like in the episode. And we'll see that as later. But they have made a bunch of like different commercials for Kellogg's, but the sponsor in universe of the show is Sidra Cab, which is backwards, and it's an aluminum supplement,
as opposed to an iron supplement.
Yeah, People don't need aluminum, do they?
No, I don't believe
No.
so.
No.
No.
Then I wrote, they play I'm a Believer in yellow shirts and nothing interesting happens the whole song.
Well, I said it's a studio recording, and it looks like they're actually singing.
Yeah, they might have
it
been.
looks like when they actually recorded it, it looked extremely valid. Usually, it doesn't look like they're singing it.
Right. I'm sure Micky was actually, like, because it's a Micky song, and
Yeah, but I
Micky
mean,
was actually singing. I doubt he was actually playing drums.
but Micky was singing, but then like even Peter was singing like backup, or
Mhm.
there would be like a little bit of a backup, and you would see them singing the backup.
Yeah. And Mike looks pissed as always,
Yeah, well.
of course. So after the talent show, Davy and the boys make up. But Mr. Hack announces that Fern and Davy won the talent show. Boing sound effect, cut to credits, absolutely no wrap up. Here we come. What?
I have curses foiled by the Monkees, and then I said Davy calls Mikey.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Amazing.
And Micky makes like he's going to read Mike's palm
And then punches him in the face.
Yeah, they just kept hitting each other in the face the whole show, and well, maybe it was payback for the end of the last episode where he got punched.
But also,
in the
they
face.
were off stage punching each other all the time.
Yeah.
We talked about this, how they used to physically fight each other constantly.
No, I think it was they were hitting each other.
Yeah.
They just kept hitting each other.
Fern ended this episode like a real brat, crying to her mom about how she's not popular and famous. But the wrap-up implies that now her and Davy are, I don't know. Well, he's not going to want to work with her
Well,
anymore.
they just said, one anyway,
her.
and then it just ended.
Yeah.
And then we never resolved Davy's problem of being girl obsessed.
No, we don't. And it continues to be a problem for the rest of the show. Well, they tried. Who wrote this one? Dave Evans, Gerald and Dee. Maybe they didn't try that hard. Alas. Okay. All right. I think that's going to do it.
Yep.
Monkees out.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of the Monkeepod. You can follow us on Instagram and the website formerly known as Twitter at Monkeepod. I'm reporting to you live from NYZ, from Zoran's New York. Start spreading the news. Monkey mayor posters, but instead of Mike, they have Zoran on them. Who wants to make this t-shirt idea a reality? Bye!